Well, good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, May the 21st, presented by Mercury. We're going to head on up to Guntersville and talk to Tom Ott about the brim, crappie, and striper bite. And then filling in on the bass bite this week is our pro staffer, Brian Latimer, our Falcon Mercury pro, who finished in the top 25 at the MLF Big Five Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit last week. He's going to fill us in on those details. Then we're going to talk to Josh Herron and Lee Pitts about Logan Martin and Lay Lake, and then Lee talking about Neely Henry and Weiss. We'll be right back with what the guys have to say. Well, good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, May the 21st, presented by Mercury. We got a special guest, Brian Latimer, our Mercury and Falcon pro staffer from South Carolina, who fished that Tackle Warehouse Pro Circuit on Guntersville and finished in the top 25. Brian, how did your week go? What kind of fishing did you do, and what can people expect when they go to Guntersville?
As far as tournament fishing goes, I'm not really that big a fan of kind of getting into the mix offshore. It creates a lot of anxiety because you don't know if you're going to get a spot, and it's like a one cast deal. I'm fishing shallow. So much grass right now that there was no reason for me to really go off the bank. Now, you can't really win tournaments that way, but you can have a heck of a lot of fun just kind of milling around in the grass. So that's what I did all week is threw a drop shot, square bill crankbait, and jerkbait all week long, just fishing in 2 foot to as deep as maybe 5 or 6 foot. I stayed basically in 2 to 5 foot of water pretty much all week. I could really see the bottom everywhere I fished this week. I didn't really go any deeper than that. I didn't see a reason to, because there's just so much grass in Lake Guntersville right now. There's more than I've ever seen, really, in any lake. There's grass from the bank all the way out to 14 foot. So I just stayed shallow.
Is it something that you were fishing edges, or were you trying to get in the middle of all that stuff?
So basically, the lake is pretty much a carpet. What I tried to look for is place sparse. All that meant was that bottom was probably a little harder, or there was sand or some type of shale in between. So I basically looked for grass, but I looked for the inconsistent places where there was grass, where there's white spots or patches of eelgrass, not where it was just a solid carpet. That seemed to be the key for me.
Well, Brian, man, good, great job this week. We appreciate everything that you're doing, and thanks for spending the time with us this week to help our friends catch a few more fish on Guntersville.
Thanks. Appreciate it, Nano.
Well, we're going to connect with Tom Ott right now up at Guntersville. Tom, what's going on with the brim bite and maybe some crappie or other species on the lake?
Well, I tell you right now, Dano, it's a good time to get out there and catch those brim. You catch them anywhere from about 2 foot out to 6 or 7 foot. They're real active right now. The crappie have kind of moved off out into the deep creek channels and hovering over those ledges, so they're a little tougher to catch. But you can still catch them around bluffs and things like that. The other good bite right now is a good stripe bite. And get a little spoon, get out there on those deeper creek inlets, and you can wear out some stripe right now. It's good fun for the kids too.
Well, Tom, man, thanks for filling that information in for us, and we'll talk to you again next week with our normal Bucks Island Area Fishing Report presented by Mercury.
Sounds good, Dano. Thanks. Y'all have a good time. Be safe out there.
Well, good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, May the 21st, presented by Mercury. Time for us to connect with our good friend Lee Pitts, who's out there on Weiss Lake wearing his fish Neely Henry Lake shirt. Lee, what's happening out there on Weiss Lake right now?
Man, things are turning around. It's for once, I've got some pretty good news for you. All you people that have kind of been bundled up and wearing your jackets, you can put them away because it's blistering hot out here right now. Been a pretty good week. The crappie with our long lining again has slowed down. We're doing more shooting docks, having that approach to them. They're tucked in underneath that shed. The shade on the main colors, it's been real good this week, dropping down to a 1/32, 1/24 ounce head, and just, really trying to get it under that dock into that shade and catching some pretty good crappie right now.
That's always the funnest way to catch crappie. What about the bass bite on Weiss Lake? What are you seeing out there?
Bass is turning on Weiss right now. Catching some, still kind of got two different patterns going. Some of the fish are getting out deep. They're getting out there on those ledges. That first wave's coming out. Also, still got some fish in the grass. The boat docks, again, the shallow boat docks are holding a lot of bass right now, so there's a little mixture. A lot of guys catching them spinner baits, buzz baits early in the morning, and then going to some soft plastics and even some deep crankbaits out there on the ledge.
Okay, let's talk about Neely Henry. We know you've been playing around down there a little bit and hearing from some guys. What's going on at Neely Henry?
Neely's a little bit behind, I think, right now. The grass bite is starting to pick up some. I know myself, I love to get that frog and that spinnerbait and jig in that grass, and it's starting to pick up a little bit. A lot of guys still catching spots out there, shaky head, throwing some jigs out there deep, and even throwing some crankbaits and some square bills still on that. But it's starting to turn into that summer pattern. So flipping docks, Neely's got dock lizards, creature baits, little speed crawls, things like that. Any kind of plastics you can throw in there has been working real well down at Neely.
Well, I know the crappie bite is kind of centralized there on the docks. And here, guys that are shooting docks. And Lord knows you're the master of that. So I know you want to get out there and catch some of them Neely slabs too, don't you?
That's right, man. And they got them there too. I mean, Neely Henry's kind of a little gold mine out there. A lot of people hadn't really flooded it yet, but with Neely, they got some big fish there, and they love to get on those boat docks down at Neely.
Well, looks like we lost Lee Pitts. Thanks for the information, buddy. We'll talk to you again next week. Well, good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, May the 21st, presented by Mercury. Time for us to connect with our good friend Josh Herron, our Bass Cat and Mercury Pro from down there at Logan Martin and Lay Lake. Josh, we spent some time there on Logan Martin, and we ended up having to go a little deeper for the fish this week. I know we put shaky head fish in the boat, and you threw some other stuff. What's going on down there at Logan Martin?
Man, I'm having a hard time there right now myself. The fish should be shallow right now with the water coming up to full pull. And I don't know whether they did their deal early and left, but I couldn't find them shallow this weekend. You catch a bunch of little bitty fish up shallow. I wound up having to fish that 12 to 14 foot range to really get a concentration of bites. Just seemed to be the deal, but it's kind of like you were talking about. You can throw shaky head and brush. You crank a little bit, Carolina rig. You could throw an eco rig, just standard stuff. I mean, pretty much. But there's no real rhyme or reason for why fish are where they are on Logan right now. It's kind of odd when you've got a bluegill spawn going on, a shad spawn going on, and for me.
Yeah, we saw some shad spawn in the grass when we were fishing this week and around some of the other seawalls. But, man, we only caught 3 fish on a spinnerbait. But we ended up going to the shaky head on some rock piles, road beds down lake a little bit. What about Lay Lake? What are you seeing out of Lay?
It's fishing about the same. There's no real difference in the two right now. It's kind of a mixed bag of spotted bass, largemouth. Largemouth are still pretty temperamental. It's a fairly decent grind. They're still largemouth up cruising on bluegill beds, so you can throw pop-Rs, Senkos, wacky rigs, stuff like that, especially around those fish that are cruising bluegill beds. They're still going to be a really timid fish to catch, but spotted bass are biting decent. Catch them same ways. Any of those little main lake transition points where these fish are coming in and out of these creeks, kind of staging out, going for any of the little secondary points that are really close to the river, any little channel swings, stuff like that. And it's the time of year where you get to start using your graphs and getting a little seat time in.
Well, and I'll say this, from having been on Logan Martin this last week, slow down, take your time. There's a lot of boat traffic out there. Be safe. Thanks, man. We appreciate everything.
Thanks, buddy.
Well, that'll do it for our Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, May the 21st, presented by Mercury. Thanks to everybody for spending the time with us and giving us the information to help our customers and friends put a few more fish in the boat. We appreciate the dedication that you have to those people. And don't forget, Bucks Island is here to help you if anything we can do, whether it's looking for that boat that's out there, looking for parts to make your boat run, the service department if you need a little bit of help, and, of course, the tackle store up there at the loft with Colin and Jamie will help you put the baits in the water that'll put more fish in your boat. Thanks for spending the time with us, and we'll look forward to talking to you again next week.